Let's go to the Tom's River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room number 17, Steve Carlson.
Hey, Billy. How are you?
I'm sorry, Steve. We had some phone issues there. Good to talk to you, man.
Thank you. First of all, I didn't have any phone issues. You guys did.
It's on us.
No, it's on us. We know we're having phone issues. Hey, Steve, man, thank you for getting back to me. I've been reaching out to you, and I just think that it's so cool to get you onto the program and talk to you about your career and talk to you about the movie and talk to you about some of the battles you're fighting right now. But before we get into any of that, I'm friends with Craig Berube. He told me he played against you when you were at the Baltimore Skipjacks.
No doubt, he was in Hershey, I think, at the time.
Yeah,
I kind of stayed away from him.
Not in the movie, you wouldn't have.
Well, no, that's one thing I really enjoyed about the movie. They thought I was tough. I invented turtling.
Steve, how did you get approached? You played 59 games in the NHL. You played from 1975 to 1979 in the World Hockey League. Of course, you played with the Edmonton Oilers, New England Whalers, Edmonton Oilers when they were in the World Hockey League, Minnesota Fighting Saints. But then you did play for the Los Angeles Kings in the NHL for 59 games. How did you get approached to be in this movie?
Well, the movie's based on the three Carlson brothers that we played as a line in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. We had long hair, we had the black glasses, and my two brothers that were my wingers, they were the enforcers. I was the one in the deep slot. I was in the dumb one. I didn't go in the corners. I was going to score goals. So a lot of the stuff that happened in the movie is actually happened where we went in the stands in Utica, New York after Jeff scored a goal and got hit in the face with an object. We were arrested right after the game. The police station was right across the street from the arena. The time where in the movie where I clothes hang the guy at center ice, that actually happened against the Cape Cod Cotters in the playoffs. They refused to come back on the ice. They forfeited the game, and we went on into the championship. We won the championship that year. So a lot of the stuff that happened, we just reenacted the thing. But that's the way the game used to be played. You know, when someone has when someone had the puck, they should be hit, and if the fight breaks out, so be it. That was the game.
Well, the big joke used to be I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out.
No question about it. That's the era of the Broad Street Bullies in Philadelphia. So,
yeah, well, we're living in the area, and we're the Broad Street Bullies. We're right. They changed the way hockey was played for the 70s and 80s.
Well, that is a fact because they used intimidation. They had the skill. They had the Bill Barber, the Barbie Clarks, and the Rick McLeish. They had great hockey players, but they also had a very tough team, and that's what we kind of patent our team in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. That's the movie's based on. We had a very tough hockey club, but we also had a lot of skill, and that's why, like I said, we went on and won the championship that year. It was one of these situations where we're playing Syracuse, and we never beat them in their building. They never beat us in our building, and we went into the seventh game in Syracuse, and we're having a pregame lunch and said, okay, this is the last game. We never beat them here. Let's just put out a good. Let's put out a good game and see what happens, and we never know, and plus we're ready for the summertime because that year our first three paychecks with the Minnesota Fighting Saints bounced.
Holy moly.
I would like to see any of these players nowadays if the first three paychecks bounce if they keep on playing. But we love the game, and that's why when I talk to kids about the hockey game, I always ask them, you like playing hockey? He says, yeah, I like playing hockey. He says, that's the difference between you and me. I love playing. You like playing. There's a huge difference.
We're talking with Steve Carlson. Of course, he's one of the Hanson brothers in the movie Slapshot. Steve, so how did that movie come about? Like, whose idea was it to start to get it going? And then, of course, you had Paul Newman in it. You had a couple of big stars in that movie.
Well, yeah, it was a situation where they wanted real actors out of Hollywood to do our roles, but they couldn't skate well enough. So Ned Dowd, who was Ogie Oglethorpe in the movie, his sister wrote the screenplay and says, why don't you give these guys a reading, let them read for themselves, and we did, and they asked us if we wanted the job. See, the three Carlson brothers are going to be the Hanson brothers, and Dave Hanson was going to be Killer Carlson. We were just switching names.
Right.
But at that time, my brother Jack got called up to the major league in Edmonton, and they wouldn't let him come down to film. So Dave became one of the Hanson brothers, and Jerry Hauser became Killer Carlson. And you're absolutely right. And we also found out later on that Newman was just on the verge of becoming a superstar.
Yeah.
And he says, okay, let's put him with the Hanson brothers and put him over the top. So, no one really liked him, and we said, okay, we brought him over our house, and we had a homegrown meal for him. We had the salad dressing, home mom salad dressing, and we made spaghetti with our homemade sauce. And after we sat back and had some popcorn, and what's the guy do? He stole all of our family recipes. Then he finds out we're after him, so he gets into race car driving, and now he couldn't catch me. He said, okay, we'll just let it slide because he's great humanitarian. He gives all of his charity to Hole-in-the-Wall Gang for children. So we said, okay, we'll let it slide. But you know what? What a great, great human being. What a great athlete. What a great actor. And it was really a great pleasure to work on that film with Paul Newman. And not only that, we had a great cast out there that we really worked well together. You guys,
I'll tell you what, one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when he said, hey, how about some foil, Coach?
You want some?
Did you ever use foil in real life?
No, see what happened in that time, in the era of hockey, like my brothers always fought and all that stuff. And I'll give you a little story. Well, they used to tape their hands up like boxers. Yeah. And they outlawed tape on your hands or anything on your hands. So remember the old golf gloves, the old leather golf gloves that they get soaking wet, and all of a sudden they dry out and they get hard as rocks?
Yeah.
Well, here's what these guys did is they got these golf gloves and scuffed up the knuckles and got them soaking wet and put them on our radiators. And they're hard as rocks, and you made sure you fought the first shift because once they got sweaty, it softened up. So as soon as that puck was dropped, the gloves came off, and there they go again. So.
That's crazy.
Hey, Steve, how about the bus rides? The bus rides in the minor leagues. There's that's treacherous. They drive it all night from one minor league city to another. How hard was that?
Oh boy! One of the worst ones we had was going up to Beauce, Quebec, where it was 24-hour bus ride. And the sad thing about it is that back in those days, you don't fall asleep because we had bunk beds on our bus, 3 layers of bunk beds, and you fall asleep, and all of a sudden you feel heat on your feet. Someone lit your shoelaces on fire. So you slept with one eye open, and and we always, our bus driver, he was the bus driver in the movie, making the bus look mean with a sledgehammer.
Yeah,
he was only supposed to hit the door of the bus, and we said, no, Walt, you have to hit the whole bus all over the place. He put dents all over. They had to buy him a whole new bus.
We're talking with Steve Carlson. You played for the L.A. Kings. You also, I'll tell you what, when I read this, I couldn't believe it. I even said it to Chief Craig Berube. I said, you played with Wayne Gretzky and Gordie Howe.
I did. I think I'm one of 6 players.
6 players, yes.
Yeah, he was. When I was in Edmonton, Gretzky was traded from Indianapolis up to Edmonton, and they roomed. There was another thing, just like Paul Newman. Gretzky was just on the verge of becoming a superstar, so they put him with me. Right? The guy couldn't skate, he couldn't shoot the puck.
Yeah, okay.
I taught him everything he knew, and you know what? He gives me no credit for it. But and I'll give you a story about Gordie Howe and Hart with the New England Whalers. They called me up from Springfield. And I centered Gordie Howe and Mark Howe.
Oh my gosh!
And the first game, they said, Steve, what we want you to do is go in front of the net, put your stick on the blade on the ice, and point the blade towards the net. We'll shoot it off your blade. It'll go in. I got Player of the Week without even shooting the puck once. I got 4 goals that week.
Hey, Steve, you know, back in the day when you played, nobody wore face shields or half shields or everything. You guys really wore those. You guys really wore those black glasses.
We wore the black glasses.
Oh,
when I was with the Minnesota Fighting Saints, and Minnesota folded for them probably the 20th time, and Harry Neal went to New England Whalers, and when they traded us to Edmonton, we kind of refused to go there. We went to New England Whalers, and Harry Neal says, I don't care what you do, you're not wearing those glasses anymore. You're getting contact.
Now, is it true, Steve, that you guys used to bring your toys on road trips?
Billy, that's a true story.
No, it ain't. Really?
what we used to do is in Johnstown on Sundays, all the bars are closed. So Dave Hanson and Guido Tanisi, Pretty Boy in the movie, lived on the third floor. The three Carlsons lived on the second floor. The landlord and landlady lived on the first floor. Well, we moved all the furniture out of Dave and Guido's apartment and set up a race car set throughout the apartment. And we bought a keg and had all the players come over with their cars. We'd race our cars all day and bet on our races. So that's kind of a true story.
Oh, that is so funny, Steve. I'll tell you what, you get this. This movie it will stand the test of time. It is. I got the producer here, Danny Ryan. What? You're only 24, Danny?
22.
22. How old are you, Andrew?
23.
These young guys. So you guys ever seen the movie Slapshot? They haven't seen it. They got to see this movie. It's hysterical.
It's on my list now.
Well, listen. At your age, have parental guidance with you. Okay?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. Some of the things you guys did back then that you wouldn't be allowed to do it today. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Hey, Steve, let's turn the page to something serious. How you doing health wise? I know you've been battling cancer. We've been thinking about you, and hopefully you're doing well with that.
Well, I am right now. It's been a tough 3.5 years when we moved from California to Johnstown and COVID hit. And then after COVID hit, I was diagnosed with stage 4 throat cancer.
Oh.
And that I was on the radiation and the chemo for 8 weeks straight. And I can happily say that after a year and a half, I'm cancer-free.
Oh,
Thank God.
What happened, and it's kind of ironic, in 13 years of playing pro hockey, I lost one tooth, but with throat cancer, it affected my the blood supply to my teeth, and all of a sudden, after everything was said and done, they had to pull all the teeth out, and so I got that. Then last July, how about this one? People in Rhode Island, they found out that I wasn't getting out because of cancer. I was really tired, so they got us, me and my wife, electric bikes. And last July, I was riding a bike, and a car pulled out in front of me, and I slammed my brakes. I went head first into the concrete.
Oh my gosh! I got hit by a car this summer on my bike here in Ocean City.
Unbelievable. Well, I went face first into the concrete. I had broke both eye sockets, broke my nose in 3 spots, 11 stitches down the forehead. I was in trauma for 3 days, and but I recovered from that quite nicely. I'm not going to get my nose fixed because I've had that done a few times. I know what it's like. I'm too old to get more surgery, so I said, heck with it. I'll just breathe in one nasal passage. I can deal with that. But I'm doing well with that. I'm on the verge of coming back now. We're going to be, me and my wife are going to start getting on the road again, because what we want to do is we want to get on the road and start, everyone talks about the cancer patients and woe is us, woe is us. Well, we get our chemo, we get our radiation, we go home and sleep. Well, the caregivers can't sleep. They got to take care of you. They got to watch you. They got to make sure you eat well. You got to go to treatments. You got to go to all these appointments, all that stuff. No one gives them enough credit because, they are the backbone of all patients. And we want to go. I want to get out there. We want to get out there and thank all the people that supported me through my cancer journey, and to thank them in person. And another thing that what happened through COVID is the sobriety. We've been 4 years alcohol free, so that helped us a lot also. And we want to do more than just go out there and party all that. We want to go out there and thank a lot of people. Well,
Steve, you're a national treasure, and we really appreciate you taking time to visit with us and spend some time. That movie will stand the test of time. It is absolutely one of the best movies. It's just a fun movie, and you guys were great. And I want to thank you so much, and take care. God bless, and we'll talk to you again.
Billy, thank you so much. Remember, keep putting on the foil.
How about some foil, Coach?
Piss on old-time hockey.
There he is, Steve Carlson on the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline.